The Mazda MX5 RF, which stands for Retractable Fastback. We're on location in Paris on a beautiful golf course because we're doing a Motor Matters road trip today. But it's a special road trip because I believe this is a special car. The purists are going to disagree with me. I don't care. I love this little Mazda. But why I say it's a special road trip as well is because we brought some special company with us. And wait till you see what we've brought along on this road trip with us today. The first car we've got as company today. Check these wings. In fact, look at the registration because it says 60 wings. This is a 1960 model Chevy Impala. Wings were in, except they weren't vertical. This is the year they were horizontal. And this is a special car. Got the 283 cubic inch, which is out of 4.6 litre V8 engine under the bonnet. And this car is really in spectacular condition. Beautiful. I got to drive it for a bit this morning coming out here. And I can tell you, boy, is it a cruiser in the great old American tradition. And a privilege to be able to drive along and have this as company for us on our road trip today. This is the third car in our little trip that we're doing on the road today. Jaguar XKR. Maybe an older version, but boy oh boy, is it in stunning condition, number one. 5 litre supercharged V8 engine under the bonnet as well. Of course it's another convertible. We had to have another convertible with us as well. And this is it. Again, sublime power. Oh boy, you just put your foot down. Of course, being a cat, it purrs. Doesn't roar, doesn't growl, it just purrs its way along. And I just can't believe between the Jag and that Chevy Impala, the little Mazda MX5, great company, isn't it? And what a way to spend a Sunday on a Motor Matters road trip. Over to the MX5 RF, which of course I've had on test now for nearly a week, and the sad part is it's going back on Tuesday. Ouch. But look at these stunning lines. The latest generation MX5, they went back to the beginning, to the first generation, which came out about 1989, 1990. And size-wise, they brought it back to the original size. Weight-wise, the soft-top version anyway, they brought in at almost exactly 1,000 kilos. This one is a tiny bit heavier because, of course, it's got these, what they call flying buttresses at the back, and it's got the folding hardtop as opposed to a soft top. A choice you want to make. A lot of people prefer the folding hardtops, etc., and things like that. Where it does compromise you a little bit is, if you take a look, unfortunately your boot space is kind of limited. But this is a two-seater car, so maybe it's got luggage space for two as well. I can tell you now it can take groceries for two. So we tested that. 96 litre boot, that's what it is, and that's what the MX5 RF has and offers you, and it's something you live with. But it certainly has neat, sleek lines and lots of show. Also got, I think, a very interesting feature here is a little wind protection unit that certainly cuts out the buffeting and the wind roar when you're on the road and when you're traveling along. Neat feature, helps a lot, makes it very, very comfortable. Let's take a look on the inside of the car and you'll see what it's really all about when you're driving and living with the MX5 RF. The big point is living inside an MX5 RF in particular. And you can see it's a luxury car on the interior. It's got all the features, got all the fittings, got all the toys and technology that you may want. Your dash is very plain and very clear in front of you. Nicely set up. Multi-function steering wheel, as is pretty much standard nowadays. And you do have, if you want them, flappy paddles. Because in South Africa, the MX5 RF is only available with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Again, I'm going to say the purists will hate me, but I prefer automatics these days. No, it's not the hooligan. You're not going to drop and swing the rear end around a little bit like you can in the manual version. But if you're ever going to use this car to commute, you'll thank me when you take the automatic version. Down here is an interesting button as well. It says Sport Mode. At a click of this button, it definitely alters your gear mapping and gives you also a little bit more to the roar of the exhaust and a little bit more sound to the exhaust, and just generally does give you that. Of course, the other magic of this car is this button over here, and that is to close and open the roof, and you simply press the button and the magic starts happening around you, and it just happens pretty much automatically, and you get the roof into various different positions as it goes. Another feature standard on the MX5 is your infotainment screen. I've got it on a USB at the moment, but you do have, for example, full navigation on this car as well. Easy to operate, nice, comfortable, just very relaxed. You want a negative? Well, the MX-5 is a two-seater and only a two-seater. There are tiny little storage compartments behind the seats, but you can't call it practical. You'd never call it that. Under the bonnet, you've got Mazda's very familiar 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine, 4-cylinder, puts out 118 kilowatts in the MX-5, 200 Newton meters of torque. It's plenty as far as I'm concerned, and you certainly don't need any more than that. So, lots of show, a fair amount of go, lots of toys, lots of tricks. I love convertibles generally. I certainly love this one. And if you do want one, you'll part with 532,000 Rand to get yourself one of these. Fun with a capital F sums it all up. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.